What is going on, you guys? Theo here with the big review, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and today we are going to be doing part 2 in our two-part series of videos, taking a look at the February 25th update, and this is going to be all of the bits that we weren't able to fit into part 1 yesterday, which if you have not seen that video, link will be in the description. But speaking of links in the description, we announced a huge collaboration live stream that will be taking place tomorrow with 5 to 6 other YouTubers. All that information will be in the description on how to view that tomorrow, but definitely check it out. Swing by. We're going to be summoning on the SS banner, and it's going to be a ton of fun. We're also still have about 2 to 3 days left, depending on when you're viewing this video, for you to enter for the giveaway for the Google or iOS gift card. Again, all the details on that will be in the description. But in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new pass, the new packages, the new data mines, as well as the buffs to some of these characters, and then some PVE Co Op as well. So let's jump into it and talk about the passes first. So, as you can see here, I already picked up the $4.99 pass, but there are 2 passes as per usual. You're going to have your $4.99 tier, and then you are going to have your $49.99 tier. And basically, we'll start with the $4.99 tier. Now, as far as this one goes, we've talked about this in the past, but as far as value goes with these passes, I feel like the $4.99 pass definitely has the value to it, as always. Now, is it as good as the old $9.99 pass that we had in the original run when they introduced this mechanic? Well, no, but we've talked about kind of the artificial rates in this game as far as what they consider value, and if you consider that they kind of figure that one multi is about $10 or so, give or take, then for just the token for the unified banner and then the cards, it's worth it. So I would say that definitely if you're a Dolphin, this is worth picking up. If you are someone who just likes to support the game at all, that the $4.99 version of this pass is probably going to be worth it. I do think they missed a huge opportunity, though, to theme this after the SS characters instead of going with the spring pass thing, but who am I to judge, right? I'm just some random dude that talks out his butt on YouTube. So, taking a look at the big package, though, we have our $50 package, and this is going to be your whale package. I don't think this is going to make sense for anybody that is not a whale. So for those of you guys who are, thanks for supporting the game, but I don't think you need me to tell you whether there's value here or not. But I think that there's definitely value here for the $50. Again, if you consider, and it may not be value to you because you value your money more than these items, which I don't blame you, I do as well. But for those of you who do like spending money on the game, that do not mind spending money on the game, that have the money to spend on the game, then value-wise this is worth it. You'll see all the items here, and I mean, you get a total, I believe, of 400 selection boxes for capsules. You're going to get a FES Fighter Memory Selector voucher. You're going to get a Starlight and Burn Attack Plus Imprint Stone selection box. This is actually a new item that they haven't had in here before, to my knowledge, but they have the Spring Platinum Battle Card Guaranteed voucher, which we'll take a look at all this in a moment. And then I think that they added some extra gold hammers. I could be wrong, but I seem to remember this being less before. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, guys, but I'm pretty sure they've added gold hammers from what they normally have in these $50 packages. But yeah, so taking a look here, we're going to go ahead and break this down, but first things first, this Spring Platinum Battle Card Guaranteed voucher is going to have all of your FES cards in it from the general pool, and as well as a bunch of things to kind of spoil your pulls with all of these different option cards, and then all of these different finishers, which by no means are all of these useless. Not all of these are spoiler pulls, but I think anybody pulling on this would rather have some sort of FES piece for a set. So yeah, it's okay, but I really wish they would have just done it as a FES card voucher and just left it at that. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? So moving on here, we have the Starlight or Burn Attack Imprint Stone boxes, and basically you can pick of whichever one you want for whatever slot you are needing a stone for. So if you're wanting one of these for your Elizabeth, or you were thinking about putting these on your Athena instead of the SS stones, or whatever the case, you can do that with this. This is a pretty nice little option here, so it's nice that this is in here again, but this seems to be the theme now that they've been putting these Starlight Stone boxes in these. But The biggest item on here obviously is going to be the FES fighter selection ticket, and you can select anybody you want basically from the unified banner. It is going to be up to date. It will have Elizabeth, it will have Mian, our 2 latest characters to be added to that pool. So this is up to date. So for those of you building those characters, you'll be able to take advantage. So that's not a bad value there. And then if you look through here, the rest of this stuff is just going to be, like I said, kind of your random items. You get 4,000 rubies, which is definitely nice. And when you take a look at the AP, I think that's basically the equivalent to 2,000 AP. I don't think that the items on the one side with the AP and the plus capsule selection boxes times 100 are counting towards what is listed on the other side, although I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you just get those for purchasing it right off the bat. So yeah, overall, not a bad value for whales. Again, for the whale tier, if you're a whale, you're already going to pick this up. If you are a dolphin, I would pass on it. But if you are a dolphin, the $4.99 package is worth it. It definitely has some pretty nice little items on it. If you are just spending $4.99, I mean, that's basically what less than you would spend at McDonald's probably. So let's be honest, you could use this more than the McDonald's. I mean, that's just bad for you, okay? And tell you how to eat, but maybe I should start a channel for that. I mean, I am a interesting. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's my opinion on those guys. So check them out if you want to. Like I said, I already picked up the $4.99 pass. I do not have any intention whatsoever of picking up the $49.99 pass whatsoever at all. So that's going to be something I leave to the whales. But moving on, we're going to take a look at the packages. And basically with these packages here, as you'll see, I'm going to start from the top, work my way down, and briefly go through these. Now, if you are a dolphin, if you are somebody that doesn't mind spending money from time to time on the game, and you really like either of these SS characters, this is actually a really good value for you because you're getting 3 multis from the fighter banner, and then you're getting 2 multis from the cards. So again, if you're somebody that is a dolphin, this is a really nice dolphin package. It's $24.99, but as we've said in the past, if we consider that they value their multis to be worth about $10, give or take $1 or $2, then these specials, when they come up, that basically break these down to about $5 per multi or so, are worth it under those standards. But yeah, it comes down to, I don't like to tell you guys how to spend your money. I just tell you guys if there's value, and there is value here if you're already planning on going for these characters, or Athena and Mai, or one of your favorite characters, and you are planning on going for them and you don't mind spending a little bit here and there. Not a bad package. Then if you take a look here, this is going to be your whale version, which for the whales, this has a ton of value. I mean, you're basically looking at 16 total multis, and then 100 plus capsule selection boxes, and a bunch of gold. So for those of you who whale, this is going to be the package for you. There is a lot of value here for those types of players, but for anybody else, this is going to be way too rich for their blood. It's definitely too rich for mine. I'm not going to be picking any of these up by any stretch of the imagination. However, for $80 for whales, I feel like this is going to be pretty popular, and they were so generous to let you buy it up to 10 times, guys. Woohoo! You can spend hundreds of dollars. So yeah, moving on, we're going to talk about this package here. It's probably going to be the last one we really need to go over. But this Imprint Stone Enhanced package I would pass on. In the past, they have done different iterations of these, and I've taken advantage of a few of them in the past, but I feel like this one has been nerfed. I do seem to remember that there were more elite enhancement hammers and more rubies in prior versions of this package. And when this package comes out at $12.99, it's typically not bad for what you get if the numbers are higher. But on this one, I'm going to give this one a hard pass. I really don't think 400 paid rubies and then only 15 elite enhancement hammers on top of the 35 rare enhancement hammers is really worth it. So yeah, I feel like if they would have made it at least a multi's worth of rubies and then had about 20 to 30 of the elite enhancement hammers and maybe made it 40 to 50 rare enhancement hammers, then definitely you go for it. But it's not something I can tell you guys to go for right now, to be honest with you. And then finally, that Speed Awaken pack, pass. not worth it. So yeah, guys, that's going to be your packages and your passes. Definitely let me know in the comment section if there are any of those that you picked up and how you did with those. But let's go ahead. We're going to move on. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. First thing we're going to start off with is some PVE Co Op footage and talk about our initial thoughts on this beta, and then we'll get into those data mines. So let's check it out. Alright, you guys, so the next thing I want to go over it, since I glazed over it yesterday in lieu of the fact that we had so much to talk about in that video, I wanted to go into a couple of runs here on the new PVE Co Op beta test. So overall, I will say that this was not that bad. I was expecting it to be far laggier. Now, it is laggy. It does have its issues. And I do think that if they are going to, down the road, implement this in other ways, maybe more challenging ways, or ways that are going to have better rewards that people are actually going to be chasing, they definitely need to get that under control. Because you'll see in this, there's moments where I don't think that the enemies necessarily spawned in on my screen, because I would see my brother and King Tyar attacking things, but I didn't see anything on the screen. It could have just been a latency issue or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think that it probably more so had to do with lag. So the lag on this, as predicted, is there. It's not unplayable though, so it's one of those things where I do recommend that you guys check this mode out. They are looking for our feedback on the forum, so if we can all kind of respectively kind of look through this, play through this, and give our honest feedback to them, I think in the long run it will be to our benefit, because I do see promise in this kind of a mode. You know, as a YouTuber personally, I've talked about this in the past, but being able to coordinate with my viewers and be able to do these runs together is just fun. And then also to be able to do this kind of thing with other YouTubers is also a lot of fun. So I feel like there is promise here in those regards for content creators, but even then, the implications for other things down the road could be pretty great. It really just comes down to if they can get the server issues under control and figured out, because they have not shown in the past a good track record of being able to do so with things like Championship as a prime example, or even the Team Relay Challenge, which I'm still trying to figure out what happened with Team Relay Challenge, because it used to be Team Relay Challenge had no issues whatsoever, and it seems like at a certain point that changed. I don't know what it was that would have caused that change. It's not as if Team Relay Challenge itself has changed that much. I don't know if it's because of awakening and spamming skills or what it is. It's interesting to me. I don't know what's going on with that. But this is something that I do feel like down the road, if they want to pursue this type of mode, they could definitely get value out of it for the player base. However, it is going to require them to figure things out. But at the end of the day with this though, if you take a look at it kind of as it sits right now in its beta form, you're getting okay-ish rewards. They're not anything special. They're entirely skippable, to be honest with you guys. But I understand why they would have gone that route. They don't want people to feel like they have to play this mode right now until they get it under control and completely work out all the kinks. However, the incentive to play it right now is pretty low. I feel like what they probably need to do is they need to add in at least gold hammers from this mode, at least for the expert difficulty, which you're seeing here. If they do that and make that something where it's the only place in the game you can kind of reliably grind those, outside of just a once daily drop on a different mode like a immortal dungeon or something like that, that a lot of people will find this of value and interest. Maybe they need to release like a lunatic mode or something along those lines for that. That's fine too. That way, you know, if you're somebody who has lower level characters, you can get paired up or pair up with some players that are higher level to kind of carry you through and make it easier on you. It does have an MVP setup with the, you'll see it after we finish up here. It'll tell you who the MVP was, and I've talked to the Ty about this in the past. I feel like maybe they should do something to where the prizes at the end kind of scale to who did the most damage. I feel like that might make sense, and that way everybody gets kind of an incentive. You know, the people who are carries have incentive to carry the people who are lower level, so that they can at least get some prizes like gold hammers and things like that, since those are items that predominantly they have issues getting in general because they're not able to play endgame content very easily. But yeah, as you'll see there, those are going to be the rewards we got. But hey, for something that you can actually kind of grind out, not too bad. I do see promise in the future. Now let's go ahead and move on to these data mines. I promised you guys yesterday we would take a look at these, and there's been some new ones as of this morning. Thank you and full credit to Gigaproto for getting footage of the new Kim 2001 in action. As always, he does amazing work. I will leave a link in the description to the full video, and we'll just have a clip of it here. But as you will see in the upcoming slides when we take a look at some of the assets, this Kim is going to be a yellow balance, as you can see, and he is also going to have bleed on his kit. So not sure where he is going to have the bleed, whether obviously it's on his skills or it's on his cores. We don't have any confirmation of anything like that. Right now it's too early to tell, but from this footage here you can at least see his string of basic attacks as well as his S1 and his S2, and overall it's always tough to kind of tell how a character is going to look once they drop from this type of footage, but it is nice and appreciated to be able to see him in action as opposed to just seeing some assets. So again, thank you to Gigaproto. Link will be in the description. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the other assets, because those do shine a bit of a light on a few other details that we aren't able to glean from that. So as you'll see here, I had mentioned that this Kim is going to have bleed and it be a yellow balance, and as you can see here, those are facts. It definitely looks like he will have bleed, judging from the stones that he gets with his boxes. And of course, these are going to be assets for his in-game packages, which I'm sure I'm not going to recommend unless you are a diehard Kim fan. My stance on these packages of these type are always the same. If it's your favorite character, it has value. If it's not your favorite character, then I would pass on it. But overall, with Kim in general, this is pretty exciting news because Kim is a fan favorite. He does have a lot of fans out there that have been waiting, and I remember the backlash when Lady Kim was announced, because his fan base was really hoping to get a FES version of him, and when they got a lady version, a gender bend version, it didn't necessarily go over well. And then when the character actually dropped, she was considered to be pretty lackluster at the time. Now, in the months since then, people have found value in her in PvP and things of that nature. However, it's one of those things where I talked about this yesterday. Or actually, it might have been the day before, but at some point I talked about the fact that it used to be we would get nothing but gender bend versions of these characters, and it sucked. So it's nice that they're getting away from it. Again, we knew that this was coming thanks to Travis on the stream, or Goatman, or Baphomet, or whatever, but yeah, nice to see confirmation. Now, next up here, these are going to be some new story mode for the 2001 story mode assets. Some of these are new, some of these I think we've seen in the past, but you'll be able to see here some of the assets that were gathered. Thank you to Steven for putting together a bunch of these, as well as, again, Gigaproto for the footage for Kim. So, as you'll see here, though, these are going to be your assets for the 2001 story mode. They told us that we are going to be getting that in the first half of 2021, so at this point, you know, it's just a waiting game. We're all going to be waiting anxiously for those rubies, I'm sure. However, I'm still surprised it's taking so long. I wonder what the hang-up is on that, but I digress. Now, moving on, this is the big news. This is going to be the asset for the SS memory. Now, this is in the data files already. In fact, there is a visual glitch, which I'm going to show you guys, where some people can already see this in the game. And this is going to basically, we assume, to be the way that you are going to be able to get your SS fighters further in Awakening level, even after the banner goes away. Now, they have not announced how you would acquire this. They have not announced when these are going to be actually available. But this is the asset that we were promised in that dev note when they told us that they had heard our feedback and were working on a way for us to get these so that we could further awaken our characters even after these limited time banners go away. In my opinion, they need to make these extremely easy to get, or at least grindable, because I'm going to talk about this in a later video, but one of the biggest issues plaguing this game right now is they need to start making memories a little bit more accessible, considering the fact that there's so many characters now, and it's definitely a turnoff for new players. We'll talk about that in another video, but hopefully these aren't tough to attain. Now, other things here, these assets here are going to be for presumably a Cherry Blossom event. We did have some information that was leaked thanks to the stream for Global from Travis Goatman Baphomet, where he showed off the Billy Kane relay challenge, and it mentioned a Cherry Blossom lineup of characters having increased damage on that boss. So a Cherry Blossom event looks like it's on the way from these assets here, which almost look like they are from a bingo game from the looks of it. And then you'll see here that there's going to be a new Catch the Little Thief event, which is definitely got the Cherry Blossom aesthetic going on. So this Cherry Blossom event, I'm assuming, is going to be part of that March 11th update that Travis had been talking about. However, it's tough to know when that's actually going to drop in the game, but we do know that when it does, by that time we will have Kim, considering the fact that he was one of the characters mentioned on that Billy Kane relay challenge. So that is going to be pretty much the data mines for now, guys. If we get more information, I will be sure to let you guys know. But the next thing I want to take a look at is the recent buffs to Lady Clone Zero as well as Lady Chang, because both of these characters are actually pretty decent now. Now, I'm showing you this footage to just kind of show you that the skills on both these characters now can be canceled, which is very, very nice. Now, of course, the buffs to these characters are appreciated. Actually, one of them benefited greatly over the other, but as you'll see here on the screen, these are going to be the effects in red will be the buffs to this character. Of course, becoming immune to damage for 3 seconds on skill 2 is definitely nice, and then on skill 3, it is now a interrupt. The nicest thing about this whole thing for Lady Clone Zero in particular is the fact that, again, these are cancelable skills now. Now, basically, the cancel window on her skills is pretty generous, except for her S1. Her S1, she pretty much has to get a little over halfway through from what I was able to gather before you can cancel out of it. However, that is still pretty nice that she has that flexibility now. She's always been kind of an underrated character. She's not a bad character, but she's definitely not one of the strongest characters in the game. However, I do feel like a lot of people kind of just ignore her. But she's always had extremely good damage output, and she has some pretty good skills overall. They can be a little wonky before the buffs, but now that she can cancel them, it definitely works to her benefit. I don't see her making any big splashes anywhere outside of still being a nice option if you need her as a red balance for high tier RHD. But at the end of the day, it's nice to see that she got these buffs. I don't know that they're necessarily what she needed. I would like to see her have gotten some form of dot, whether that be a bleed or otherwise, but it is what it is. She still gets buffs, and they still are beneficial to her, if albeit a little weak. Now, as far as a character that does not have weak buffs, let's take a look at Lady Chang, because I feel like a lot of people do not realize how good she is now. So, going through her buffs, you'll see in red up in the top corner, her S1 is going to have a 70% chance to reset the cooldown of her S3. And then she is going to have hyper armor on her S2, and then she's going to have the biggest part of this, lightning, on her S3, which for those of you who do not know, lightning actually increases the cooldowns for the opponent and deals shock damage. So lightning in general, being that it increases the opponent's skill cooldowns, is very nice at a 2-second increase. That can be devastating in PvP. Of course, it doesn't make much of a difference in PvE, but one big thing that will make a difference in PvE and makes her extremely powerful right now, as you can tell from the demonstration here, she can cancel all of her skills now. Now, of course, there is going to be, I believe on her S2, it's a little bit of a longer window, kind of like the S1 on Lady Clone Zero, to cancel out of it. However, this is actually very useful for her, because for those of you who do not know, long animations on your skills are not very good for PvE, and that was always kind of her biggest issue on her skills, was the fact that she just couldn't do much of anything when she was locked into an animation. However, now, being that she can cancel them, she's very, very powerful. This character actually, I think, could be devastating in things like PvP against certain characters that don't have stun immunity, because she's basically just a walking stun stick, and being that she has lightning now, really works to her benefit. So yeah, She is the big winner of this. Definitely take full advantage of the roulette because she's extremely strong now. But let's go ahead and move on to a short summoning session I did. All right, let's do some summons. I've got a multi worth of card tickets. I've got a multi's worth of fighter summon tickets. So let's see what we get. Hopefully we get something halfway decent here, particularly on the fighter side. Ooh, that's nice. Hey, I don't think that's the one we needed though. We need that though. Nice. 2 of the 3 in the bag for free. That's awesome. Oh shoot, and we got, that's a nice option too. Okay, very nice. Yeah, this wasn't the one we needed. Wow, that was a heck of a ticket pull. Yeah, I still need that middle one. Okay, we're 1 away, guys. 1 away on that set. I want 1 set of that. So we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Actually, I think we're close on the pity for the card banner. We could probably go for that down the road. For science. Oh well, I blew all my luck on the cards. That's okay. Whatever. I'm actually pretty happy about how this went overall. Cool. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's going to be the video, guys. So if you have not already done so, like, share, and subscribe. Like I mentioned earlier, make sure that you check out the links in the description. We have a huge collaboration stream. We're going to be spending 27k rubies for SS fighters tomorrow on stream. So check that out. Again, the links will be in the description for how to find that stream and check it out. And then we also still have a few days left for you to enter for the giveaway for the gift card for either the Apple or Google Play card. Again, links will all be in the description for all of that. I will talk to all of you in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Continue. Game over.